All right, we're going to do a quick introductory lesson for section 11.4. And I'm going to start off with, think back to when, if we had something like this back first semester or even last year for that matter. So you guys know that, if you had an expression like this, you could combine like terms. You combine x's with other x's, you combine y's with other y's. 3x minus 5x would be negative 2x. Negative 2y and positive 10y would be 8y. And you would actually be done. Okay, you can't combine the x's with the y's when you're adding or subtracting. So when we use the words combine, it's usually when we're talking about adding and subtracting. Okay, something similar was something like this. Remember, you can only combine x squares with x squareds, x's with x's. So 7x squared minus 9x squared would be negative 2x squared. Negative 8x and 2x would be negative 6x. This is review, but I just wanted to bring, to your forefront of your brain the idea of combining like terms, okay? Because there is such a thing as combining like terms with radicals as well, all right? So just like with x's and y's, excuse me, when you have radicals, let's see, we'll call this number 1, you can only combine like terms. So for example, something like this, you see you have 16 root 10s. It's like you have 16 oranges here and you have 2 oranges there. So altogether you have 18 oranges, right? We have 16 root 10s and 2 root 10s. Together we have 18, but it's still root 10. Okay, that doesn't change. Just like when we combine x and x, that didn't change. Y and y, that didn't change. X squared and x squared, that didn't change when we're doing adding or subtracting. Okay, so you can only combine like terms. So again, this is going to be a very quick lesson. So if I had something like this, 6 root 7 minus 8 root 7, because they're both root 7s, I can do that. That would be negative 10 root 7, negative 2 root 7, because 6 minus 8 is negative 2. So again, we're just combining like terms, all right? Now, one thing I do want to point out is sometimes there's a couple other things I got to point out. You may see something like this, 4 root 6 minus root 6. Now remember, there's an invisible 1 there. So 4 root 6 minus 1 root 6 would be 3 root 6. Sometimes students accidentally take this and they say, oh, 4 root 6 minus root 6 is just 4. But that's not right at all, okay? Those aren't like there's an invisible 1 in front of that. Just keep that in mind, okay? Now, the other thing to keep in mind is sometimes, watch this. If I do 6 root 3 minus 4 root 5 plus 5 root 3, okay, where do you have like terms? Well, here and here, 6 root 3 and 5 root 3 would be 11 root 3. This thing doesn't have a like term, so that would just be hanging out there, You can't combine it with the root 3. There's nothing to combine it with, so you'll have that sometimes. All right. Now, that being said, you don't want to be lulled to sleep. Sometimes people look at this and they say, oh, those aren't like terms. I can't do anything with it. But you actually can, because remember, root 18 can be simplified. that's really 9 times 2, so that becomes 3 root 2. And now I'm just bringing down this root 2 here. So 3 root 2 plus 1 root 2, this answer would be 4 root 2. So don't just automatically say, oh, they're different. Remember, you could potentially simplify them first. These up here didn't simplify. So we just combined the like terms, and that's what we had in the end. Okay. But sometimes, you will have situations where at first they look like they're not the same, but if you simplify them, they actually are like terms. Okay. All right. I'll just do one more and then we'll call it. And then you'll have a short homework assignment. Okay. So something like this, 3 root 7. Oh, actually, let me check on something before I do that. Minus root 28. Okay. Again, at first glance, they're not like terms, but root 28 can be broken down to 4 times 7. That comes out as 2. 3 root 7 minus 2 root 7 would be root 7. All right. So that's it. Just a short little lesson on combining like radicals. All right. Short homework assignment.